Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbena atina min ledunke rahmeten ve heyyi lena min emrina raşeda. Rabbi cealna Rabbi ceal hâzel belede âminen ve cunubni ve beniyye en na'budel asnâm. Rabbi cealni muqîmes salâti ve min zürriyyeti Rabbena ve teqabbel dua. Rabbi ceal hâzel belede âminen ve cunubni ve beniyye en na'budel asnâm. Rabbi la tezerni ferden ve ente hayrul vârisîn. Rabbena atina min ledunke rahmeten ve heyyi lena min emrina raşeda. La havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim. Ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etba'ihi ve sellem. Rabbena gfir lena verhamna ve ente hayrul rahimin. Amin velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Amin. Now, inshallah, we will continue with the section Furqan of the Qur'an, and we studied up to the verse 35, and here the subject changed now. Description of the opponents, rejectors of the prophets now left, and their situation is described. We studied them. Now, the subject comes to what happened to the previous prophets in a short notice for, or not all of them, but on some of them. He will just, the Quran will just remind us. Now he starts with the most famous, most frequently repeated prophet, Musa, in the Quran. And the verse reads, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ وَجَعَلْنَا مَعَهُ أَخَاهُ هَارُونَ وَزِيرًا. The translation says, we gave the book to Moses and assigned to him his brother as a helper. Whether a helper, like a minister helping the president. So, I mean, the technical word wazir is minister. But here, in the minister, what he's helping or in order to help Moses to convey his message. So wizir, the root meaning of wizir, which is wizrun, which means burden. But here, wizir, the one who takes up the burden by helping the president, so making his burden less or less heavy. That is just what wizir means, is a helper. So I have some questions, some subjects here to discuss. The first one is, why do you think the Quran keeps reminding us that Moses needed his brother as a helper? I mean, what is the point in reminding us that a great prophet, Moses, is a very famous, and also his example, his exemplary life, somehow reminds us the life of the prophet on the same line. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Why he asks us, the Quran reminds us this. For example, in the section Taha, as you see, let me share it on the screen, make it bigger. Now, no, what's that? What happened? Yeah, maybe here. What did I do? No. No. Moses also prayed to Allah prayed to God in section Taha said, وَجَعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي Haruna akhi. So you must be familiar with this word, this verse. Make a wazir, helper, or minister, helper, from among my family, min ahli. Again, why min ahli? Do you have any idea? Moses needed his brother as a helper. Why God tells me this to me now? Think about it and share your understanding or whatever comes to your mind.
I'm not sure why from his family specifically, but I feel like having a helper is, my first thought is that it adds accountability, or because you're sharing the burden, there's shared responsibility. So that's coming to me, especially with generally what we know of stories of the prophets. It's not supposed to be a one-man show, and there's a reason for it not being a one-man show, which is that having other people help or share in the responsibility keeps everyone more accountable.
Did you say more responsible, everyone?
Yeah, responsible and accountable.
Accountable to help the prophets? Is it our responsibility to help the prophets as well?
I guess we can read it like that.
Yeah. I think it's a great point. In the Quran, Jesus also says, who is going to help me? So this very famous phrase in the Quran, the Hawariyun said, we are going to help you. For the helper of Jesus is Hawariyun. For the helper of Moses, his brother, and for the helper of Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, companions. So Quran says, Muhammadun Rasulullah walladhina ma'ahu. Muhammad is the messenger of God and also the companions, those people who are with him. It means none of the prophet, no, I don't know, none of the prophet is a big word. Let's keep it aside. Prophets generally presented to us with the people who were supporting him, helping him to spread the message, to defend the prophetic message together, is a sign that now, let's go to the second point now. Do the prophets need help from among human beings? Among human beings? Well, isn't that God enough? We say, the Quran says, Hasbunallah, God is enough for me. But at the same time, the prophets are presented to us to be in need of helpers from among human beings. Isn't that interesting? And the question here, from among human beings, because the prophets are the receives the message, those people who receive the message and spread it. Yes, message is provided by God. That is fine. But spreading the message is left on human side of the prophets. And every human being is in need of support for his mission to be carried away, to be to spread to those people who need it. So, for example, we can ask. So the question here, for what we need help in this context of the verse? Now, before going there, let's think about this one. We are here now in the 21st century. Can we help the prophet? Can we help the prophet?
Yes.
How?
Helping spread his message.
Spread the message. Yeah, not let the message disappear. We have to keep up the message if we believe that, if we are convinced that this message is very precious and everybody else, every human being needs it, then we have to help the prophet to spread it. Afshan, you wanted to talk, please go ahead.
We can also add that we should help each other to spread the message today.
Each other as well, yes, yes. If someone is trying to spread the message, we are expected to help this person as well. We are expected to help him to spread the message. Either take the leadership or help the leader who is doing this mission, spreading the message. So we have to do the same thing, because these verses of the Quran mentions about the need of the prophets for helpers, are telling us that we have to try to spread the message, at the same time help those people who are trying to spread the message. So let's see. The following in his footsteps. Ziba says, by following in his footsteps means he was the prophet, yes, and he tried to spread the message, yes. So his footsteps are what? Now, the mission that he performed showed us that the message needs to be spread, and we have to try our best. So this is Sunnah, footsteps of the Prophet. There are many others, but among them, the main mission of the prophets are to spread the message. If someone asks me, what is the most important sunnah, the tradition of the Prophet that we inherit, we learn. Spreading the message. Most important, of course, apart from belief matters. Belief matters contained in the message. So, practically speaking, the most important mission is to spread the message. Of course, if someone wants to spread the message, he needs to learn it. Without learning the message, can we spread it? No, impossible. Correct? So we are learning that, as our friends explained, I'm summarizing it. We need to try to spread the message. And for this purpose, we have to learn it. Or if we cannot do it, we have to try. If we cannot learn, if we don't have speciality in the subject, or if we don't have time, or if we are lazy, whatever the reason, we have to try to spread the message by helping those people who are spreading the message. In any way we can do. In any way. Some people, there are many ways of helping them. Financial help, maybe just helping him physically. For example, nowadays, they prepare something, but they may not know the technology, and they need help from the people who know how to make, for example, prepare videos or write nicely in a literally valuable way. That is spreading the message, helping the one who is trying to spread the message. No one can be perfect, so we understood this. So let's come to the third verse, if you don't have more to share. Why does Moses ask particularly his brother? Here also, we say, Ma'ahu akhahu Harun, not nas, in the human beings. Ekhahu. And also in the Taha here, وَجَعَلْنِي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي, from my family. Why do you think particularly, especially in the case of Moses, in other, I don't remember any other prophets mentioned in this way, from his family. Only, as far as I remember, only Moses. But I cannot be 100% sure. Just I am trying to remember the verses related to. No, it doesn't come to my mind. So Moses asked particularly his brother. Why his brother? Or from his family, min ahli, from my family, from my ahl. Why do you think specifically from his family, and especially brother? You must have some idea. Share it, inshallah, so that we will have an interactive discussion.
What comes to mind for me is that the brother there represents someone close or someone who shares the same particular message or viewpoint or perspective or responsibility as Moses or whoever is spreading the message.
But family, brother, why family? Family members, from among family members. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just thinking out, could it also be like kind of unity within the family unit then before? Like, I have to deliver the message to my own family first before venturing outside of that, the circle, the family unit.
Yeah, that's good. Let's listen to Afshan.
I think it's like very natural, doctor. You see people, they have a business, and first they reach for the family because maybe to help in the business, because there's like a level of trust there. That's what I thought.
Uh, there is something in the chat box. Let's see. What's that? Why I cannot open the chat box? Yeah, here is that. They are the trusted people. Yes, I mean, more blood relationship. Now, although in Islam, as far as the belief connection is concerned, as far as belief connections are concerned, belief values are concerned, we understand from the Quran that if your family members do not share your belief, then you don't have to obey them. Quran specifically mentions about belief matters. But Quran it gives a lot of emphasis on the importance of blood relationship. For example, father, mother, and the children, the parents and the children, their responsibility, parents' responsibility towards their children, children's responsibility towards their parents when they get old. Inheritance, for example, inheritance is not divided among needy ones. Inheritance is not divided among needy ones or given away to the needy ones. Although there is a verse in the Quran says, during making the divisions, sharing the inheritance among family members, if there are some needy people, give them some share from the inheritance or inherited property. But you don't have to. It is advised. But definitely inheritance must be left to the family members of the deceased one. It means Quran attaches some importance to blood relationship, which is a sign that blood relationship is treated specifically. So it is important for us to notice that, first of all, Quran encourages that we have to keep the rahim relationship, womb relationship. What does it mean? Coming from the same blood lineage. It means my parents, my family members, my relatives. Quran encourages us to be in good conditions with them, but with one condition: we don't have to share belief in order to be nice to my brothers, sisters, in order to be nice to my family members. This is different. Belief is unique to everyone, but how about helping, respecting, taking care of your family members, your relatives is a completely different subject. If your brother or friends or your siblings, not friends, your siblings, your parents, or your children do not share your belief, that is something else. Don't confuse with it. They don't say my parents or my brothers, sisters are not sharing my belief. I have nothing to do with them. No, you have everything to do with them, but not belief. You don't have to follow their belief. They don't have to follow your belief, but you have to be kind and helpful with your family members. That is what Quran advises us, which means it is a sign, indication that family ties are very important and we take care of. Everybody can see in his life. Do you bother about your family members from within yourself? Unfortunately, in secular societies, family ties are loosened, in some cases lost. So secular, because the conditions of the secular society destroyed the family relationships and cut off the respect and concern about our family members. Even marriage is really corrupted in secular societies. Lost it is respect. So no one is committing his or her life to anyone else. So no one, everybody says, I am an individual being. I don't have to have any responsibility for anybody else. That is the corruption of the family relationship and marriage connection. Now, this cannot be a criterion for us because it is the result of secular society, not the result of human nature. Human nature is corrupted in the secular society in this respect, especially family respect, especially. But still, there are lots of people who still keep their family connections. But in its essence, secularism corrupts the all ties with others, makes you feel as an individual, self-sufficient individual, treats you as an individual, not as a member of family. So, no, that is the mistake, if you like, of the secularism. Not the human nature is changing. That is a kind of fashion. Today is like this, tomorrow we don't know what will happen. That's a kind of fashion. Nowadays, in secular societies, these ties are corrupted. But it doesn't mean that human nature is corrupted. No. Human nature is there. Quran speaks to human nature. When it comes to secularist understanding ideology, Quran severely criticizes it. But human nature is taken into account in this verse. So what is advised here, we are advised here to get close relatives and gain their sympathy and try to get their help, because it is more, I don't want to use the word, but I don't know any other better word. It is more natural to be responsible for your brother, for your parents, for your children, for your uncle. It is more natural to take care of each other. I feel in these kind of verses here, this one and the Taha, section Taha 29, 29th verse, teaches us that try to have close relationship with your relatives and gain their support in order to spread your message together with the family ties. That is what I understood from this word. Yes, Afshan.
Dr. Marmar, I'm always confused with the word ahl. When we think about the prophets and we see the word ahl, ahli, does it refer to their actual blood ties or to their followers? So, because they're acting in the capacity of prophet, so I thought it's a reference to people who share the same ideology. And the most clear example is when God addressed Prophet Noah, and he says, he asked for his son to be saved, and the famous verse, Laysa min ahlik. So it's when I read that verse, it like makes me think Ahl is a reference to followers or people who share the belief ideology. And that's why he's being reprimanded. He's not one of yours. So now I'm confused.
No, don't be confused. From the beginning, if you remember, we separated belief matters are different. Quran speaks from natural ties, the way we are created. Belief matters are separate. For example, you cannot expect a help. Let's take an example, just as an assumption from your brother who doesn't share your belief. It is not included in this وَجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي, from my family, because belief is different. But we are talking from the way we are created naturally. Our ahl, it means family ties, physically family ties. Now also ahl means also your spouse. Your spouse, after getting married, you become as if one unit. Now, as a result, you see that the children, the father can say, this is my child. Mother also can say, this is my child. So they became together and one, as if one, inshallah. So we are talking about the natural ties. But if someone from my family relationship, as in the case of the Prophet Noah, his son didn't share his idea, so he is not expected to be regarded as one of the members of his family as far as the belief side is concerned. But in the same verse, in the same scenario that the Quran presents to us in the matter of Noah and the followers, Noah particularly demanded his son to be saved, begged him to come. Why? Why did he do that? Not any other ordinary person passing by. He didn't say, come. No, he said, oh, my son, come. That is physical blood relationship requirement. Whereas when it comes to sharing iman, now, if in the case of, if someone's brother doesn't believe in God, it doesn't mean that it is not from his ahl, but it is not from his ahl as far as belief, common point is concerned. It means not in brother or in blood relationship is not enough to share belief. Belief is an individual matter. Blood relationship is not individual matter. That is God. It's a long ayah. So الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ayah, in which section is was? I think it is in Baqarah. Yeah, in Baqarah, early, somewhere around 35, 40, 40th verses. ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض. These are not ahl as far as belief is concerned. That is generally misunderstood. For example, let me see if our friend is here. Yeah, Edwin is here, for example. As far as I know, Edwin, he is a believer, and he mentioned to me that his brother or sister, if he has, or his, let's say his father didn't share his belief. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I remember mentioning it. It's a practical example if Edwin doesn't mind mentioning this. So he's correct, he said. Okay, thank you, Edwin. So now, is he not his father anymore after Edwin embraced Islam? Who will answer me? If his father dies, isn't he going to receive the inheritance from his father? Afshan, especially this was your question.
Yes, of course.
Now he is going to receive it. It means blood ties are still there. Is it convincing enough?
Yes.
So we shouldn't confuse. We shouldn't confuse. Belief matters are different, but the way we are created by God, God assigned me to be the child of my father and mother. That is God's decision. I cannot deny it. So this relationship makes, if, of course, that is your point here, if we share the same belief, I can expect my brother, in the example of this ayah we are studying, to be my helper. And this is more, if you like, natural, the way we are created, appropriate to the way we are created, correct? So we shouldn't confuse. We shouldn't confuse. I cannot advise at all Edwin, since your brothers, or if he has, I don't remember, family members do not share your belief, don't have anything to do with them. No, that is not right. It is not Islamic. It is not Islamic. There are specific cases that we don't deal with fiqh matters here in our discussions. You know, if someone's, so if a woman, if a husband of a wife denies and doesn't believe, and then marriage connection drops, and then there are rules about it, that is not related to our subject. So if someone's parents or brothers declare war against Muslims, believers, and the believer member of the family has to defend his belief, if it is attacked, even by physically, has to defend his belief. He cannot say that he is attacking me, but it is my father, it is my brother, or sister. I cannot do it. I cannot defend my belief and my community. No, these are exceptional cases for specific reasons. And if we study them, we understand them carefully. And it makes sense. Yes, Efshan?
So I understand that in the case of Noah, the request was inappropriate. The request that Noah makes is not fair. But I just got confused with the strong language, ليس من أهلك.
Yes.
That's why I got confused.
No,
Such
I understand.
So can we say that it depends on the context, whether it's referring to the blood tie or to the belief tie? Can we put it this way?
Now, in the presentation of the Quran, we understand that Noah's attitude towards his son is the way he is created, to save his son. Why? Any parent definitely loves to have his children to be on the safe side. That is fitri. But he asked him to come and join or embark on Noah's Ark. What does Noah's Ark represent?
Belief.
His message, prophetic message. And correct prophetic message.
Yes.
Yeah, as you said, believe, but in general, prophetic message. Now, when it comes to asking somebody to join in the prophetic message, it depends on his decision. In the case of Noah, his son's decision. And what did his son said? I'm not going to. I am not going to. Now, is in this sense, Quran, or if you like, God teaches us by giving the example of Noah, not for the sake Noah. We don't know Noah, who Noah is. Quran tells this narration. We don't know who he is, and we haven't seen him. And we are not talking about for the sake of Noah. We are talking about through the story of Noah, narration of Noah, Quran is teaching me something. What does it teach me here? What does the Quran teach me here? He says, if you may be concerned, you will be concerned as Noah did with your brother more than with your son, with your parents, more than anyone else. You have to be concerned with it. But if they take stand against you and reject it to you, they reject your message, and they reject you, then you don't have anything to do with him as far as the belief, sharing the belief is concerned. You don't have anything to do with him. It is not your ahl as far as sharing the belief matter is concerned. Is it clear? Verse 3. Why does the Quran says Noah wanted his son to be saved? There is a point. It is fitri. It is fitri means natural. It means we are created in this sense. And later on, Quran says, no, he is not from your ahl. In which case, he asked him to become a believer, and he took his stand against it. And then he is not his ahl at the level of belief sharing the belief. Quran does this in another case. For example, when Luqman in the Quran advised his son, and Quran says, be nice to your parents, be respectful to your parents, always treat them respectfully. That is general principle. Whether they believe or not, respect them, whatever they do, whatever the stand they take, unless they attack you. That is another case, exceptional case. They try to kill you because you are a Muslim. The case is different. You have to defend now yourself. But when he says, when the Quran says, be nice to them, but if they expect you or want you to believe in something which doesn't make sense to you, eşreku God. It means associate something, give God's attributes, God's qualities to something else, and ask you to believe in something else other than God, that he is the creator. We have to worship him. Do you remember this verse? Luqman. Let me try to give the number. You can read it later on. Yeah, here it is. Listen. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ, verse number. No, section Luqman is 31. If someone wants to study it. 31st section of the Quran, and verse number is 14 and 15. In 15, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ لِوَالِدَيْهِ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ. It is a long thing, but let's concentrate on the point that we are discussing here. We advise people, we advise human beings to be kind, respectful to their parents. Ihsan. Always you have to make sacrifice towards your parents. This ihsan means really, in this context, make sacrifice. Do more and more as much as possible. Now, that is one principle. The other principle is, وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكِ بِهِ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. If they force you, or if they struggle with you to not to believe in God and instead something else. Shirk means, they call it polytheism. I'm not happy with any of them. Assigning a partner to, what does it mean? No, this is the literal meaning of it. It doesn't make sense to me. But attributing the God's qualities, divinity, to anything else than the creator of the whole universe. Then the verse is very strong here, even stronger than the verse Afshan narrated to us about Noah's child. Now, Laysa min ahlik. So here, if they ask you to give God's qualities to anything else, it means worship something else. That is very important. Ma laysa leke bihi ilmun. It doesn't make sense to you at all. It doesn't make sense to you at all. For example, a person comes from a Christian background, they may say, oh, my son, please don't deny that Jesus is somehow a form of God, inherited qualities of God, or another form of God, another aspect of God, something divinity. That is called shirk in the Quranic language. So the Quran is so severe with it. مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. It doesn't make sense to you at all. فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. لَا تُطِعْهُمَا. Do you see the strong language? Never, ever obey them. What happened? Did you get the message here? When it comes to belief, no, never obey them. Let alone being, okay, I will try, I will accept your suggestion. No, but still, you have to be sacrificial towards your parents. Do you see the difference? If they don't obey them as far as belief matters are concerned, but you have to keep ihsan, extra sacrifice to your parents. Does it make sense?
Yes, thank you very much.
Now you must be satisfied. I am satisfied now. So study this verse, but. You know, I don't know which source you use. Some sources only for shirk, no. Then you don't, shirk apart from this is okay. No. Ma layse leke bihi ilmun. There is no ilm with you about what I suggest you. What does it mean? It does never make sense to you. They suggest you something doesn't make sense to you. Then the strong language is definitely la tuti'. Huma. İkisine de sorry, I confused the language. Both of them, mother and father is included. No, mother was more merciful to you. Save her. No. Whether it is father, whether it is the mother, never obey them as far as belief matters are concerned. The rest is still valid. Still valid. So, keeping my friend Edwin never ever joined their wrong ideologies, wrong beliefs. But at the same time, Edwin never ever be irrespectful their parents. Even they call them, he would not say that let's pray together to Lord Jesus. No, I'm sorry. But he will reject it in a respectful way, not in an aggressive way. That is what the Qur'an's balance about family relationship. It was nice to bring up this subject, so we have to understand why Moses asked God to assign one of his family members to support him. وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي. To support him because family ties, blood ties are always stronger than any other ties. Really, I mean, in my own life, if I see that, if I hear that, which most of my friends are in Turkey. Now, one of my friends died, I will say, Rahimahullah, and pray to God, to bless his spirit. It's different. God forbid if I hear that my very close friend, family members, parents, or brothers, sisters, I will fly. Why? There is a difference. That is how we are created. Inshallah, we have to be careful not to confuse the cases. So, inshallah, it's okay. Shall we move? Again, the same thing. Look, again, let's study this verse as well, very briefly and quickly. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Related to this subject. Bismillah. وزكريا إذ نادى ربه رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين. Look, again the same thing is, and Zechariah, when he called out to his Lord, my Lord, do not leave me on my own, though you will remain when all else has ceased to be. It means warith, inheritance, inheritors. So what does it mean here? Zechariah is asking, in the example of Zechariah, Qur'an is teaching me that I will ask God to leave me on my, not to leave me on my own. You will remain, though you will remain when all else has ceased to be. Now this warith, the word warith, in the Quran is used the one who inherits your property. But God is pointing out in this verse that everything will remain to God at the end. Now, so don't confine yourself only with your family members, but nothing else, but ask for someone to help you in spreading the message. So here, I think the time is almost up, so I will quickly go over this. Is Zechariah asking for a child to inherit his property? The prophets don't leave any property behind to be inherited. That is the principle. If the prophets have left anything, it will be transferred to the community budget. So he is not really physically asking the inheritor. So like saying that, don't leave me alone on my own, so give me a child. Not really this in this sense here, but at the same time, it is somehow related to inheritance relationship. But the Quran says, oh, God is the best inheritor. Here is point 2, you will remain when all else has ceased to be. Literally, God is the best inheritors. Sounds like properties will remain to God. He will inherit them. No, what exactly it may mean? Oh, it is another subject. The time is up. So next slide, it says, what exactly it may mean? It is another subject. Shall we study it next week? About this inheritance subject changed now.
Yes, I think it would be good.
So it will be good to study it next week, right?
Yes.
Let me see what our friends say. By following in his footsteps, they are the trusted people. Edwin, correct. Option says yes. Edwin says, let's not rush. Muawiyah says, yes. Yes, what? Muawiyah, yes for leave it next week?
Yeah, I was also interested in continuing on this topic.
Okay, let's not hurry. Inshallah, next week, slowly but steadily, and inshallah, surely. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. اللهم صل